5 seconds later, see, this is how I don't care about anything and just fly by the seat of my pants.
So we
just
do it.
whipped up 18 signs and made them. And I was like, I hope I can get rid of these signs.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, this thing has snowballed out of control.
Yeah.
And they're coast to coast. And it's turned into a whole thing I never envisioned.
Welcome back to the Around the South Side podcast. I'm Terry Wagoner. I'm your host. And by welcome back, I mean welcome to our first real episode. I know we had the intro episode. I explained what we're doing here, but this is the first real episode, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have on the first actual episode of the Around the South Side podcast, Miss Erin Davis, Mrs. Erin Davis. Erin is the founder of the Love More sign and that 501c3 and all that it's doing. So if you've been around the area, if you're around the South Side much, you're going to see these Love More signs in people's yards, in businesses, and things like that. And I just love the story behind it. I love the heart behind it. There's a reason that I had Erin on for the very first episode of this podcast, and that is we need more people pushing love, pushing positivity, pushing acceptance in the whole world in general, obviously. So Erin, I thought, would be a great tone setter for what I want this podcast to be all about, and that is sharing the story, sharing the heart of what's going on here on the South Side. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Erin is fantastic. She's a lot of fun. We've been friends since high school. She was a Whiteland grad just like me. So please enjoy this first official episode of the Around the South Side podcast with the fantastic Erin Davis. Erin Davis, you
Hello.
are the... Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for having us here in the Love More sign command headquarters.
Yep.
It's what it is.
Special.
No, it's great. It's great. You are, how would we describe you in the context of Love More? You are the creator, you're the founder, you're the president, you're the CEO, you are the executive commander-in-chief. Is that what you say to people?
That's all those things.
That's pretty much it?
Yep.
That's awesome. So obviously people have seen the signs all over town for a long time. When did all this start?
2016.
Okay.
The fall.
Tell me how it all kind of came about back then.
Okay. So in 2016, there was a presidential election happening.
Yes.
And it was extra spectacular.
Yeah.
And I was driving home from work one day, and there is a gentleman that has some hand-painted signs out on his road, and they are insane.
Yeah.
And one of them called Secretary Clinton a bitch,
Yeah.
among other things.
Yeah.
And then on the same road, there's a Confederate flag. And so I wasn't in the mood that day.
You weren't having it.
And so then I get
So
home.
you stormed out, you knocked on the doors.
No.
You
Do you know how
clumped some
badly I
heads
want
together.
to do that?
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yes.
that's
But
very
then
courageous
I
of you.
Get unbrave. and
Well,
don't
I
do that.
understand. I understand. Okay, so you got home.
So then I get home, and my daughter had been to a birthday party where they're painting canvases, and it was a butterfly. Not a butterfly. I'm making stuff up now. It was a
Okay.
unicorn
Yeah.
and a rainbow.
Yeah.
Might as well have been a butterfly also.
Sure.
So just our completely opposite experiences of what we had just seen. It just sort of caught me. And so I wrote something on Facebook about it, and my cousin said, not everyone has hate in their hearts. They're just not painting signs about it.
Yeah.
Referencing the guy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, why aren't we?
Oh, I
So
love
then
it.
like 5 seconds later, see, this is how I don't care about anything and just fly by the seat of
You
my
just
pants.
do
So
your
we
thing.
just
You just do it.
whipped up 18 signs
Yeah.
and made them. And I was like, I hope I can get rid of these signs.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, this thing has snowballed out of control.
Yeah.
And they're coast to coast. And it's turned into a whole thing I never envisioned
So-
or planned.
No, I know. I love that though. So you made 18 signs. And so what happened next? You made the signs because you've got the print shop here. It's your day job and all that. You have 18 and you said, hey, if anybody wants these, let me know. And we're going to stick them in our yard, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yep. And we sold them at cost.
Okay.
Just to get them moving and going.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went. And then by February, of course, so I'm the t-shirt girl, right?
Yeah.
So people are like, we want a lot more t-shirts. So I finally was like, fine, we'll do a t-shirt. We sold 200 t-shirts.
Holy cow.
And then that's where like, let's make money off of these and give it all away.
Yeah.
So we made $2,000 and we gave it to Habitat and Kick It. And Kick It is like homeless youth stuff. And different, what we call love assisting organizations. So we gave all that money away and it was like super fun.
Yeah.
So then we kind of built on that model of fundraising so we could give away all the profits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't make that up. Everyone does that.
Right, sure.
But we're like, we could do that too a little bit. So, I mean, we're not giving out millions of dollars or anything.
Sure.
But it's enough to make a nice impact in our community.
And I want to hear about some of that impact too. I want to talk about that. But I'm super interested to like your whole concept of there's a lot of people that have positivity and love in their heart, but we don't put it on display, right? It's the easiest thing in the world on social media, or it's just easy to go to the negative. But positivity and optimism and love and things like that aren't necessarily something that people put on display in their lives. And I think like the beautiful thing about your message is why I wanted to have you on right out the gate on this podcast is that you're like, hey, if you've got some positivity and some love and some joy in your heart, like let's spread that in the hopes that it can spread just like the negative, right? Or even maybe if enough of us do, it will drown out the negativity, right?
Yeah.
So all of this in your mind, or you're just like, let's make some signs and just be positive people in the community. Like, what was it? Was it like, obviously you said, I don't think about things ahead of time. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, a huge skill. I think it's a positive, right? Like, I think for me, I would have probably, if I had the thought, I would have like debated it in my head forever and then maybe gotten the courage to do it. Probably not. So I think there's something to be said too for like, you know what? I'm just feeling this thing. There's not negative consequences from this. I'm just going to like put love out in the world. And if it's 18 signs and I only put one in my yard and that's the end of it, like that's a good thing too, right?
Yep.
So I love that. So the response to those initial signs, they went really fast, am I assuming?
Oh yeah, it blew up.
And then people started
I couldn't keep up with it.
Tell me about the people that were the first round of orders on that first sign. Was it like just friends and family who were like, yes, I love this message? Like, what was that?
So that was kind of fun. So it was just basically friends and family, all via social media.
Yeah.
But then like I would have pockets of friends who weren't local. So I have a friend in Florida. She's like, send me 36.
Yeah.
And so I have all these pockets like all over the place and they're distributing signs like on their own.
Yeah.
So like, that's really cool. Like they're building their own little pockets
Love
of
more
little more communities.
Right? Yes.
And I don't have to do anything. So
Yeah.
like, that's cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So and if you're around the South Side a lot, you've probably seen a lot of these signs. I think on the West Side, there's like another, it says like be kind and there's those yard signs. But like where all have you seen these signs go? Like, I mean, how big has it gotten or how many different places has it gotten or is there any way even to know that?
We're in, I think, 36 states.
Holy cow.
I have a cute little map at home.
Do you really?
It's not like completely accurate, but whenever there's somewhere like, I don't even know where that is. Like we'll look it up and we'll put a pin in the map.
I love it.
So like obviously Indiana is just saturated.
Sure.
And then all the surrounding states, we have a good group. And then we have, it's just interesting because there's no, like I sent a Love More sign to the West Coast. I looked it up. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, where's that at? And then I have to go hard and Google the actual address, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's like this amazing home on the ocean. I'm like, who is this person?
Wow.
What are you doing with your life?
Famous person.
I know, right?
And
it has
that they
to
have
be.
a Love More sign.
Isn't that cool though? Like,
yes,
how
it's
did
so
you
cool.
find me? Like, why don't I have that on my website somewhere when you go through the order? Like, how did you find us? Like, I should do that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though, is like you can always
That's so cool.
You can always innovate and improve it however you want to over the course of time, right? The point is you started, and obviously there was some demand for your message, which is amazing. So I looked at your website. The mission statement says Love More is a community-driven effort that works to spread love and bring people together through inclusion, peace, kindness, and justice as well. So, and another thing it said was kindness paired with justice. One of the parts of that is on the anti-racism front. You guys are doing work and resources there. I am the poster child for privilege because I'm white, straight, in my 40s, right? So
dude.
So yeah. So because you are at the forefront of working in this area, I'm guessing, and I know people that are in the same shoes as me, right? Fellow peers who want to help in this work, but I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know where to get started. I want to be a positive, contributing, anti-racist contributor, but I don't know what to do, honestly. So, I mean, how do I start, or where do you start, or what do you do with that?
My easiest suggestions are to follow like Black women on Instagram.
Okay.
Any Black woman, because she's going to tell you things that you don't know about. Like, they don't have to be like authors or anything. Obviously, that's a good choice.
Sure.
But there are a ton of Black authors that have like impacted me and make me think. And so like, I'll share that stuff. Like, I'll share anything if I think it's like, yes, that is it.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's reading what I share.
Yeah.
But you just never know when someone will spark someone and they'll be like, oh yeah, like I never thought of that. So I think that's the easiest way, is to just seek out people who are not like you,
Different voices,
and listen to what they say.
Yeah, sure. Tell me what Love More is doing or has done in some of these areas. Like, I know you guys have done a lot of, art projects around town to kind of raise awareness or tell the story. What are some things that you guys are working on around that?
Just the other month, we painted a mural inside of Kick It for them. Kick It supports young people who are experiencing homelessness. And so we sat down with they call them clients, some of their clients. Sure. And we sat down with them, and we sort of want to know what was in their hearts. Like, what do you want for your life, whether that's in the next 5 days or the next 5 years? What do you want for your community? And so we kind of worked through some of those prompts, and we came up with the word abundance.
Oh, love it.
So, and I love that so much, because not just like literal abundance, like obviously we want and need things, but having the mindset.
Yes.
And I know that's like super trendy right now, but it's so important.
But it's real, right?
It's so easy to get down and focus on the negative. So when you're struggling, like just trying to have a tiny bit of a positive attitude is I think that helps. So I love that the kids came up with that.
Yeah.
And they helped paint it, and it was just really fun. So that was sort of the hope that when they walk out the door, they'll see abundance and they'll just remember what their goals are.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you mentioned Kick It, and you guys have the whole model of, we're going to raise money and then we're going to distribute them through people that are actively loving more in the community, right? Yeah. So tell us about some of the projects you guys either are doing or have done, or some of the just some of the ways that has like played out in the community here on the South Side.
Sure. Some of my favorite things we've done so far. Last year, I spent some of our money, and I also got a grant from the Johnson County Community Foundation.
Amazing.
And we bought, I can't remember what we called it. I call it something cute, but we bought a collection of books to donate to all the elementaries in the county. So there's 24 elementaries in the county, and they were all books that centered different voices, like Black families, Asian families, because all kids need to see that. Yeah. Kids need to be represented. So we donated all those books, and it was like, I can't do math. It was a lot of books.
Yeah, sure.
So it was really fun to like collaborate with Wild Geese and put together that list of books and then go buy them all and deliver them. It was just really cool. And to know that those are in libraries and kids can access them.
I love it.
Yeah, super cute. And then just last night, we gave our very first graduation grants.
That's amazing.
At Franklin Community High School. So we did 2 grants of $500 each.
Awesome.
And we called them grants because you don't have to go to college.
Yeah.
That's not everyone's path.
Sure.
So we want it to be available to any student.
That's amazing.
And so it was so cool. It was so sweet. I got to present it, and of course I was like a nervous wreck, and I'm like, whoa. But it was just adorable. Like, I don't know what they'll do with it. It doesn't matter. Like, like they sincerely like are practicing building community and like investing in each other. Yeah. So I just like want them to know that I appreciate that. Like I see them doing it.
Yes.
the high school, Franklin High School, started a Lovemore Student Club this year.
Oh, really?
And it has been the cutest thing to watch.
Wow.
I'm
So what are they
in awe of
doing?
them. They're precious. So
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year, like I didn't want to tell them what to do. It's your club.
Sure.
But so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Were you like an advisor role, or did you just come in and kind of see what they wanted
They
to do?
have an actual advisor at the school.
Oh, yeah.
But like if they needed money to do a project, like I gave them money.
Sure.
And like if they had a question, like, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Like, of course, I would give them my 2 cents. But basically, so they decided they were going to work on community building, and that targeted younger students. So one of my favorite events that they did, they called it Parents' Night Out. And
Okay.
essentially they babysat.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's cute. But what I saw was a whole bunch of little kids playing with a whole bunch of high schoolers, and they had a blast.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
It is.
Just being able to build relationships like that and spend quality time with each other, like people that you don't know, and just knowing that I feel like we just have to figure out a way to believe in each other and trust each other. And like, that's what they're doing. And it is precious.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's cool. And you remember too, like when you're like an elementary kid, the high school kids are the coolest people on earth, right?
For
And the ones you
sure.
want to be like. And so if they're getting around these positive high school kids in the community and building connections and finding those role models, that's a really neat thing. I love it. That's cool. So the model of we're going to keep doing events and keep giving out money, do you have any kind of like strategic plan to that, or is it like here's what's coming up? I that sounds all corporate and official, and you laugh, and I know that's maybe not how you roll, but so is there plans to just continue doing events to raise money, and then you'll figure those out on the fly? Do you have set events that you're going to do every year? How's that look?
So it's very ebb and flow. I never know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Whatever feels right.
Yeah.
So this year we tried something new on our fundraising efforts, and it felt right, but it's not going great. So
Okay.
we usually just sell Lovemore gear that just says Lovemore or whatever, and we sell it and keep the profits and do whatever, buy books or whatever we're gonna do with it. So this year I felt like sales were kind of down. So I was like, let's try something different. This year, let's highlight some of our love assisting organizations and sell their shirt. So like the very first one, we did the Humane Society. Like we're friends with them. Who doesn't love animals?
Right.
They call me and be like, take this dog, and I do.
That's right.
So we sold like a Humane Society shirt, and it had like a Lovemore nape on the neck.
Yeah.
And that it's just going okay. I thought you just don't ever know until you put it out there.
You got to try.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, we're going to stick with it through the end of the year because we're doing every other month.
Okay.
So sales were not quite what I was hoping for, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You learn.
Just figuring it out
But
figuring out what
after,
works.
like you said, events, after seeing the kids do all their events, like I want to host an event maybe next year and see what that could look like, because we participate in other people's events. Like we'll go to Pride and we'll have a booth at Pride, and we do our best to support other people and show up for each other.
Yeah.
But we've never really had an actual event. So
Yeah, sure.
who knows? But I don't know what it would be.
Yeah. Well, what would it be?
I don't know.
Producer Christian.
Speaking of pets, where's our corporate dog?
Clem, I think she's probably taking a
have a
nap.
dog running
It's
around?
nap time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've not
corporate
seen-
dog was in here a minute ago.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The Lovemore dog.
I only have one question.
What's that?
How many millions have you raked in off your radical left-wing agenda?
So many.
All right, let's move on, Christian. Let's move on.
Are we skipping that question?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. But listen, I want to talk about swag because it's the best thing in the world. It's so much fun, and it's like positive swag. It's Lovemore swag. So in the shop right now, you guys have all kinds of stuff. What kinds of things can people get in the Lovemore shop?
We have 1 billion different stickers.
Yes.
Because everyone loves stickers.
stickers, yep.
Yes. We have some really cute keychains. That's like my favorite thing. It's a flight tag.
The keychains?
It's soft. It looks like you'd put it on like a luggage
Oh, on like
tag.
luggage. But it's a keychain?
That's what I use it for.
Okay. But
My
you
kids
could
have them on their
probably
book
put it-
bags. You can
oh,
do whatever
see?
you want.
That's luggage. So you could put it on luggage.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
We have a bunch of hats in stock. We have pins, like little
Yeah.
label pins.
Yep.
And some enamel ones.
Yep.
I don't really keep a lot of shirts in stock because I can't afford the overhead.
Sure.
So we usually sell those like in advance and then print them.
Yep.
So-
Like you'll do a run. You're
Is
like,
there
hey,
like a
we're gonna
website
run.
or something?
Yeah.
Where,
Lovemoresign.com.
Lovemoresign.com, Christian. You can get all your Love More
Did you say
swag
that
right
earlier?
there.
I missed it.
No, I was going to wrap with that question.
Okay.
We're still trying to figure
Never
this
mind.
podcast
Just
out.
ignore that. Strike that question
We're
from the
trying
record.
to figure this podcast out. We'll
Okay.
get it figured out.
Yeah.
Listen, when we come back down the road, we'll be a lot more of a professional organization. Don't worry, Erin. Don't worry.
I will not
I start
be.
now.
You will not be. Yeah, we figured why we don't want to start yet. We don't want to come out the gate too strong
Right.
on our end of things. But so for you, where do you see this thing going? If you see anything, is it just like we're going to keep doing our thing as it feels right and keep loving and giving in the community as it feels right? Is that that's the master plan,
That's
right?
the plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get frustrated, like when sales are bad or like when I get pushback from people.
Do you get a lot of negativity coming with this?
I have some enemies, Terry.
You do?
I have enemies.
I find
really
that hard
nice.
to believe. You're a pretty nice
I don't
person.
care about anything. Just be chill.
Just be a nice person.
I'm trying to figure out what anybody would get mad about.
Just
Because I don't want you to be hateful.
Besides your radical left wing.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's probably true. I mean, if you do anything out in the world, there's maybe people that are going to push back against it. But when it's literally love, like
Yeah.
people are going to be mad.
You
about
can't do love more wrong. Like,
Yeah, I love that.
I guess everything's polarizing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we did. You know what we did? I want
Tell
to
me.
tell you about.
yeah. Tell me.
We piggybacked the night that the kids had the babysitting night, and we hosted a QPR session,
What's a
which
QPR
is
session?
like suicide prevention training.
Oh wow!
And we had like 10 people come out.
Wow.
Which that's not really a fun thing to do ever, especially on a Friday night.
Right.
So like that was really like it was cool.
Yeah.
So these are people learning how to
Yeah.
manage people through those situations.
Yeah, like
Wow.
signs to look for and like what to do and like the next steps.
Yeah.
It's like an urgent thing, like if someone's in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
how to like help take care of them before you can get them to someone who actually like
Yeah.
a professional.
Sort of
or
an emotional
talk them
CPR.
off. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Did you
So
like
that was
bring
really cool.
someone in to do that?
Yep.
Like okay.
Yep, upstream prevention.
Okay.
They will host
Yeah.
those trainings. So
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So you're going to just continue to do all these fantastic, amazing things. I'm going to ask you this kind of final question, and then we'll get to the question that Christian already asked, which is how can people find out more, which is lovemoresign.com.
I thought you meant the other question.
Is it .com? .org?
.com.
.com. .gov? No, it's not that. Okay, so here's my question for you. Obviously, like this whole thing started with just your personal experience and seeing the negativity being put on blast, and you said, I'm going to put positivity on blast. Since that time, since 2016, it's been 7-8 years since all that happened. You work in the family business. You have a family. You have kids. You are involved in the community. You're a very busy person. This working with Love More takes a lot of time for you.
Yes.
Why do you spend your time that you could be doing anything else?
This is my midlife crisis, Terry.
Is it your
that we were
midlife
just
crisis? No,
talking
it's
about.
not. No, it's not.
No, it came at a really good time. Like, you can be busy with dumb stuff or you can be busy with like good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps me busy, which I need to be busy. I
just
am
have
better.
personality.
I'm like
Yeah.
a shark. I have to be moving.
Yeah, always be moving. Yeah.
Yes. I just think it came at a really good time in my life where I was like, this is a natural thing to roll with. And like, my kids are super into it.
Yeah.
Still, they're
Yeah.
still little. They're 9 and 12.
It's like a family project for you guys
It
too.
really-
You guys
it really
all work
is.
on it together.
My 9-year-old, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
She's like, when I grow up, I'm gonna do Love More with Mom. I'm like, are you? Is Mom going to be doing this still?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. If there's a natural feeling end, we'll stop. But I still, we still aren't sending signs across the country
Yeah.
every other week. Like
Yeah.
just, it's still sitting here. It's not hurting anything. So
Sure.
you know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of been quiet right now because like it's also it takes a lot of emotional energy.
Yes.
So I just sort of, it ebbs when
Yeah.
I'm feeling it or when I'm not
Yeah.
and what I'm in the mood for.
Sure. Well, and honestly, like the message of positivity is not going anywhere. Like we needed it in 2016. We need it now. We're going to need it 15 years from now too, right? So, but I commend you for the work that you're doing in this community. And I know that, like you said, you get some pushback and you get some negativity that comes back. But I commend you and thank you on behalf of all the people that are wanting to be positive in the community for having the courage and the bravery to shine the light in the ways that you are, for taking the arrows that you get from people that are against you or want you to fail, and taking that on behalf of all of us who are behind you and supporting your amazing mission. So, Christian, did you have a final question about maybe where people can learn more?
Yeah. So where might I find these things?
lovemoresign.com.
That's perfect.
And there is
Got
a
it.
shopping tag.
Oh,
And there's also links to like anti-racism
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
There's a whole page of things to help you learn things.
amazing.
So you can check those out.
And we'll link to all of it in the
He's
show notes.
calling us.
That sounds like something podcast people say, is linking to it in the show notes. Do we know how to do that? Can we figure out how to do that, Christian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can link to show
Okay,
notes
we'll
all
link
day.
to it in the
Yeah.
show notes. If you could find the show notes, you'll find the link. Erin, you are the best.
High five.
Thank you
You got it.
for this conversation. I appreciate you.